Clayman took to Twitter to talk about how Batcat, the series he's been working on, put a lot of love and energy and effort into with Tom King, 12 issue, not exactly in continuity, I think is the way they're putting it, or not in continuity, Black Label book. The miniseries that is sort of meant to conclude Tom King's run, but I think isn't concluding Tom King's run. It's the adventures of Batman and Catwoman, seen over 3 decades. Clayman says this book is better than Watchmen and Venom. That's a weird two books to compare it to. I don't know. What Watchmen and Venom? That's. I mean, all right, sure, why not? Um, what that's hype, certainly. Maybe true, maybe not true. Does this benefit the comic to hype it up that way? Do you think does this going to get more sales, less sales? Is it going to get people? Does it basically paint a target on its back or not? Um, let's talk about hype. Hey everybody, this is Perch, and this is one of those videos that I have a feeling is the kind of video that irritates people inside the comic industry. Because I have people listen to my videos, and they will say things like, "Hey, I'll get positive comments like, "Hey, you provide some good business advice," and blah 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 blah, and then I'll get, "Hey, you're very hypocritical. You'll say one thing in one video, and then the opposite in the next." And in one of the things, if you've been listening along to a lot of my various ramblings and babbling and everything else, is that I'm very critical of marketing within comics. I think this marketing is an area where it's not it's kind of the dumbest possible marketing. Now I say it bluntly like that, and I realize there's some people who hold titles of marketing inside these companies. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you. I'm not trying to crap on your life or your parade or any of that. In many cases, I recognize that you are hamstrung by the marketing you can do. You'd like to do certain things, but you can't because of this or that, or the publishers are giving you random bits of information, or you have no budget. There's lots of reasons. So please don't take this personally. I'm not meaning it that way. But I've complained incessantly about marketing because I think marketing is one of those pieces that, with double the love, and given that there is no love now, there's close to zero effort. With double the zero effort, 0 times 0, it doesn't work that way. A well-reasoned intern, one of the people who makes YouTube videos, who can hype themselves, which is even at an amateur level, could do a better job than a lot of the marketing going on at the big two. For whatever reason, whatever that might be. On one hand, I say that, and I stand by it. Marketing is garbage. On the other hand, when hype does come, and in this case, it's Clayman who's trying to hype up Batcat, and he has taken the approach of saying this series is better than Watchmen and Venom. And again, I can't quite wrap my head around that time. I mean, you could say Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. Those comics both came out in the same year. Similar genre. You could say better than Dawn of X and Donny Cates on crap over at Marvel. You could say better than Heroes in Crisis and I don't know what else, something else, something terrible. You could do that, but Watchmen and Venom, I just that is not the same thing. But okay. At that point, why don't you say better than any other comic? Just say better than comics. I mean, which Venom are we talking about? Are we talking about Lethal Protector Venom in the '90s? Are we talking about which Venom are we talking about? Are we talking about current Venom? I mean, all right, it's weird to compare current Venom to '80s Watchmen, but or are you talking about Watchmen, the HBO show? Are you talking about Tom King's Rorschach? Are you insulting Tom King in some weird way? I don't know. What are you doing, Clayman? I don't know what you're doing. At any rate, so you might say, hey, you complain about marketing on one hand, but then here comes a creator hyping up it and trying to do some marketing, and now you're going to complain about that too. And the answer is, you're right. I am going to complain about that too. I think that hype is one of those things that has to be handled delicately. So if you're in marketing, one thing that you've probably heard of is called authenticity. If you want to have successful marketing, you have to come across authentic. You have to come across as like you either know what you're talking about, or you're not just lying to somebody for money, or any number of things. There's authenticity is critical. If you obtain authenticity, you want to hold on to it at any cost, because if people believe you, then they will tend to buy things without thinking about it. Like right now, if I were to say, hey, Kraft macaroni and cheese has a new pumpkin spice version of it. You trust me, right? I give you lots of good information. You love Perch, and Perch is great. So you need to go out right now to your local Safeway or Piggly Wiggly or Publix or whatever it happens to be, and pick yourself up some Kraft macaroni and cheese pumpkin spice latte flavor. Yum. That's what you need. If you trusted me, if you believed I was not full of shit, then you might go out and buy that garbage and feed it to your family. You might do that. And then I would, laugh all the way to the bank because, I got my 20 cents of royalty for selling you what, the equivalent of toxic waste. But you take a guy like Clayman, he's generally well thought of in the industry, a really good artist and has done some really solid work. I think he has a little bit of that rub of somebody who was at Marvel and wasn't terribly used, well, didn't necessarily, Marvel didn't know what to do with him, or he was on a couple books, but Marvel didn't ever seem to want to promote or really push him as a big star. So he went over to DC and did some pretty cool stuff, and then also did Heroes in Crisis, and then some other cool stuff. And I think generally he's got a pretty good reputation. And so he's taking that good reputation, he's going onto Twitter, and he's doing what many comic pros do, which is they're like, hey, look at this is the most amazing thing ever. And then some other comic pros will chime in going, oh my goodness, you're right, you are the most amazing person ever, and I can't wait to see it. The problem is, as a fan, and I'm not beating up on Clayman here. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, and nothing wrong. I'm using him as a bit of an example here. But Clayman, I want to just, for reference, having met the guy in person, I think he's a really solid guy, and nothing wrong with Clayman. Good guy, good talent. But there is something that goes on within comics where a lot of the marketing and the hype comes off as extremely false, extremely disingenuous, not to be believed. And this is a case where the Bat Cat is not going to have the same cultural relevance as Watchmen. It's just not. I feel comfortable saying this right now. Maybe I'm wrong. I promise you, I will come on and I will make 12 videos, one for each issue of this miniseries, talking about how much I was wrong, and that Tom King and Clayman own me. This guy goes passing me on the right in a Ferrari, and good for him. It's an awesome car. Whenever I see somebody driving a Ferrari like that, it always makes me feel like they're on city streets. It's like that person's going to destroy that Ferrari. This is somebody who is. It speaks. It's kind of like the marketing. It's somebody who is not confident. These are the people with the tiny penises that are, you can't just drive your car in a way. There's a guy I knew who once, a long time ago, who I would drive with him, and then he would get in and we would drive like from the office or from the comic shop to a restaurant like a mile away, and he would like be zipping through traffic and trying to get the car up to like 90 miles an hour on the freeway, and I would be like, you idiot. And he was like, oh, am I scaring you? I'm like, no, you're not scaring me. You have a tiny dick. That's how you're driving. You're driving like you have a tiny dick. And you're like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, you're trying to impress this passenger here by driving 90 miles an hour on city streets. I mean, oh yay, we get to the Chick-fil-A, 34 seconds earlier than if you just driven there like not an asshole. Anyway, but it's a good analogy for how comic book marketing, it often feels like stupid. It's similar to like CB Cebulski coming on and talking about how he's trying to hype things up. Be like, I have an idea that's going to sell 1 million copies of a comic book. Like, hey, how about you don't tease on Twitter and you just, pardon the expression, you just fucking do that. Why are you, what is this tweet part of the master plan to sell 1 million copies? Hey, the little independent comic artists. I don't mean little, that sounds derogatory, but the like the people who are comic creators who will go on Twitter and tease like, "Oh, I just got a call about you know what, that special project. It's very exciting." And then their buddies will come on, they'll reply like, "Oh, you mean that one?" Wink. And it's like, what are you doing here? I mean, is this is hype? But no one in their right mind is hyped. No one's like, oh my god, I wonder what they're talking about. I better make sure I reserve this an order for this comic because they're saying it's really going to be good and it's a secret project. I really want to be in on that. Nobody thinks that way. That's not how good hype works. And so I think that you get a lot of cases where you have comics that are really solid projects done by solid people, and you just kind of ignore those completely from a hype and a marketing perspective. Or worse, you do hype them up, but you burn the bridge so much with the fans and with the comic shops that they sleep on your title because I mean it's like, nah, okay. It's the whole problem with the things will never be the same after Secret, Invasion, Empire, Civil War 4. They're never going to be the same again. It's the world will change. That's all bold new. We didn't. It's not just a status quo that's new. It's a bold new status quo. We put the word bold in there so you can tell we're serious this time. This is bold. I, who cares? That's not good hype. I mean, good hype would be, hey, what is Clayman, for example? What is his strength? His strength is that he's a badass artist who draws badass things that we like to buy. So, what would be a good hype? I don't know. Take a panel, penciled, of Batman or Catwoman doing something cool, and post that and put in, "This is the kind of cool shit you're getting in a month." The end. That's the full hype. Just do that. And I guarantee you that will work better than trying to convince people that Bat Cat is going to be stronger than Watchmen or Venom. I mean, I don't know. Probably will be stronger than Venom. It depends on the Venom. Again, I mean, some damn shitty Venom out there. I don't. I'm just saying. That's. I don't know. It is like I want to get a job. So if you work for one of the big two, I would suggest, hey, there's this guy, and he's an asshole, whatever. But he's run a comic store. He's sold things. He's made money, and he's got some ideas on marketing. And he's willing to do a free little 30-minute Zoom call, and he'll show his face. Why not? And he's just going to explain like how you can make more than $0 off of just basic marketing. I don't know. I'm not a special guy. I mean, seriously, I do think that if you are in comics as an independent or a publisher or whatever, please, I hope to God, don't listen to me. I'm just a dumb asshole on Twitter. But please, go. There's some people who are doing this really well, and by this I mean hype and marketing. There's some people who are successful. I mean, if you could swallow down some of your disgust for some of the crowdfunded stuff, there are people who are making like 50, 60, $75,000 on not the best stuff. I mean no offense. I know, yeah, I've now offended two separate groups, so I can get all the hatred. But seriously, there's some people who have not the best crowdfunded books. I mean, just art not great, story not great, and they are bucking six figures, and they shouldn't be able to, but they are doing a more effective hype job than Disney. Really? Like, I I hope you're. I mean, just swallow your pride a little bit and steal some of those ideas. I don't know. I not to get on a whole tangent on this stuff, but what is Marvel thinking really with the cooking shows on YouTube? Is it what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to appeal to exactly? You're trying to show that it's kind of fun. Did one of you get the flu and you stayed home and you watched Nailed It on Netflix and you're like, we could do cooking too. Imagine how hilarious it would be if we got Donnie Cates in to make an Iron Man cupcake. That'd be hilarious. I, I don't think, I mean, no, that's dumb. You shouldn't do that. It's not going to sell any comics. I mean, next time I have like Sean Murphy on, I'd be like, hey, so hopefully, you get another White Knight series. I'm hoping so, and you get that new White Knight series up and going, and it's time to start hyping, White Knight 3, Revenge of the White Knight, whatever it happens, whatever you title it, and let's make some YouTube videos for you. So we're gonna do a White Knight baking show, and no, no, sorry, I'm off. I want to pitch this. I'll get Murphy on. I'll like start pitching. I'm like, okay, so here's what we'll do. We're gonna make cookies based off of the White Knight characters, and then then people will watch the YouTube videos, and then that's how we'll sell 200,000 copies of your comic. And I want to actually, I got to pitch this like really serious. Now I don't know if he's listening to this right now, but I want to be like really serious when I say it's like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that, and then but really earnest, like with my pitch, and then see if like I can get him to just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just I'm kidding, but really, like you have to imagine somebody pitched this idea, got a budget, put these shows out. Like, what was the return on investment here? I mean, I'm honestly willing to listen. Like what was the pitch there? Was it like, hey, we got ourselves $20,000 worth of marketing budget and some interns here, so we're gonna use that $20,000 to make a Marvel cooking show, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's somehow is going to that's how we're gonna sell lots of copies of King in Black. Ta-da! Hmm. I mean, where's the plan? Anyway, hype marketing. It's what do you do? I don't know. Seems strange to me. Anyway, hey, what's your idea? So hype. How over the top do you get before it starts to be a turnoff? Do you get turned off by this kind of stuff? Does it work for you? Do you like, ah, crap? He said it was better than Watchmen and Venom. I'm gonna have to go pick that up now. I mean, I hate Tom King, but now I've got to pick it up. Better than Watchmen. Crap. Is that how you? I mean, is that working on you? Just curious. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, downvote, upvote, ignore any of those. Follow me on social media, send me an email. Most importantly, thanks for listening.